Okay, so if you remember in the last video, I talked about how to share your Padlet either with social media or through email, or print or save it or anything like that. There's another option when you share it. So sharing doesn't just mean sending it to social media. You can also share it with specific people that you want to be able to interact with this Padlet with you. And so to do that, we go to the share button, and instead of being in the share, export, embed, which is where we were for the last video, we want to be in people and privacy. And so in here, you can make your Padlet public, which means that anyone can access your Padlet, and it will appear in an internal search and a Google search, and it might be featured on a Padlet community page. Secret means that anyone who has your link to this Padlet or the QR code will be able to access it, and it will not be as open as the public because it won't be visible in Google search or public areas of Padlet. Password protected means that anyone that wants to visit your Padlet will have to have a password that you choose in order to access it. So to do that, you can add a password here. So if I want to just make my password that, whatever, and then I can choose what they can do. So if I want, I can click can read, which means that the contributors can view posts, but they cannot add posts, edit and approve others' posts, or modify and delete the Padlet, or invite other collaborators. I can choose can write, which means the contributors can view and add posts, but they cannot edit and approve others' posts, or modify and delete a Padlet, or invite collaborators. If I click can moderate, they'll be able to view and add posts, edit and approve others' posts, but they cannot modify and delete Padlet, and they cannot invite collaborators. So as you can see, each level kind of adds another bit of power that contributor can do. So can read is the most limited, and can administer is basically like what you do with your Padlet. They can view and add posts, they can edit and approve others' posts, they can modify and delete a Padlet, or they can invite other collaborators. But with the setting we chose here, the password protected, that's why this can administer option isn't available, because we can only invite contributors to be administrators. You can't invite people to do this with the privacy setting we've chosen. Or we can click private, which means only myself and all the people that I add as contributors can access this Padlet. So that's kind of the level of privacy you can do. I want to use the private one for now. I'm just gonna, for sake of showing you how to add a contributor, you put in an email address and you click add. So obviously I don't want to contribute again, but it could be someone else. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm just using another email. And for each person, you can change what they can do. So maybe I add some other people I know, and I want this person to be able to just read it, but I want the next person to be able to write, the next person to moderate. You can divide up those responsibilities however you choose. This button just allows you to remove that person, so say you entered it in wrong or don't really want them to. Then down here at the bottom, you can allow them to remake your post. So if you want them to be able to use the template you already have, you can do that, or you can say no. I don't really care if they want to. That's pretty cool. So you can pick that here, and with the moderation section, you can. So if I had made this person can write, if I clicked this moderation box before if they made a post and they wanted to put it on this Padlet, before it would actually post, I would get excuse me. I would get a notification, and if I didn't like that post or I didn't want it on here, I could say no, like no, you can't post this, fix it, or whatever. Or I can say yes, and that will push the post through. So you can do any of that. So once you've picked the privacy access you want and added who you want to be able to share in this Padlet experience with you, and chosen if they can remake it and if you need them to be moderated, then you can click save. And they will actually get a link to um, your Padlet. Also, I didn't mention here, you can enter their email or a username. So maybe it's another Padlet user that you know, they have a username, and you're like, hey, I really think it'd be cool if you could contribute to my Padlet. You can put their username here, and it will link them through their own Padlet account. So that's pretty fun. Anyways, that's how you can share and add contributors to your Padlet. You can also go in, so if I close this, I'm like, okay, I did that. If I come in another day and I'm like, oh, I don't really like this person's posting on my Padlet. They're not doing what I want, or maybe they're not being as engaged as you thought they were. Whatever your reason is, you don't want them to have access to it anymore. You can always go in and remove them, just like that. As easy as that, and hit save, and they will not be able to post to it anymore. I don't think that worked. Oh, never mind. It did work. So that is how you share your Padlet and add contributors. I think that's a pretty cool tool. This would be really useful for maybe like a group project in school if the teacher breaks everyone into like 5 people and they're like, okay, I need you to make a Padlet of topics in this class or books related to this thing we're studying or anything like that, then everyone would be a contributor to this Padlet. You'd add them all in that share category and everyone would be able to contribute. So that's kind of an option there. There are endless options for this tool, and I'm really excited to be able to explore it more, and I really hope you do too.